Hi, Boo Math Group. So today's lesson is 12.4. In your Go Math book, the page is 457, Customary Units of Liquid Volume. The essential question, how can you use models to compare customary units of liquid volume? So again, customary units are those units that we use in the United States. Liquid volume is the measure of the space a liquid occupies. Some basic units for measuring liquid volume are gallons, half gallons, quarts, pints, and cups. If you look at that light purple box on page 457, you could see 1 cup equals 8 fluid ounces, 1 pint equals 2 cups, and 1 quart equals 4 cups. And today would be the day that I would get out the Gallon Man poster, but since we're not at school, I have attached your own personal copy of Gallon Man. So the first one is just your copy to use. It's a great visual so that you could see how all the liquid measures are relate to each other. And then the second one you could just fill in, you can color in. And the last one you can fill in the measurements and color. Just kind of a way to get a closer look at it. Continuing on page 457, you can see we have a beautiful model. The bars below model the relationships among some units of liquid volume. The largest units are gallons. The smallest units are fluid ounces. So it's a beautiful way to see how they're all related to each other. So you can see we got the 1 gallon, we got half gallon, we got the quart model, the pint model, the cup model, and the fluid ounces model. So you can see there's 2 half gallons in a gallon, 4 quarts in a gallon, 8 pints in a gallon, 16 cups in a gallon. And the fluid ounces is a little bit different because there's 8 fluid ounces, not just 1. So it'd be 8 times 16, which is 128 fluid ounces in a gallon. You could also see, you could use this to compare and see there's 2 cups in a pint, 2 pints in a quart. You can see there's 8 ounces in a cup, 16 ounces in 2 cups, and so on. The first example, how does the size of a gallon compare to the size of a quart? So gallon compared to the size of a quart. So step 1, draw 2 bars that represent this relationship. 1 bar should show gallons and the other bar should show quarts. So of course it's not going to be as perfect, but do the best that you can. So our first bar represents gallons. 1 gallon, not gallons. The second bar, 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to divide it 4, the best that we can. 1 quart, 1 quart, 1 quart, 1 quart. Step 2, shade 1 gallon on 1 bar. And shade 1 quart on another bar. So this gives you a beautiful look at how they compare. Step 3, compare the size of 1 gallon to the size of 1 quart. So 1 gallon is how many times as many as 1 quart, as much as 1 quart. Fill in the blank. So 1 gallon is 4 times as much as 1 quart. Let's turn to 458. The next example is compare measures. And Serena needs to make 3 gallons of lemonade for the lemonade sale. She has a powder mix that makes 350 fluid ounces of lemonade. How can she decide if she has enough powder mix? So here we get into comparing gallons and ounces. She needs this much. She has this much. So now instead of comparing gallons to fluid ounces, we want to compare fluid ounces to fluid ounces. So we need to convert 3 gallons into fluid ounces, and then we can see if we have enough. So step 1, we're using the model on page 457. We're going to find the relationship between gallons and fluid ounces. So step 1, this is like a multi-step problem. 1 gallon equals how many cups? So we can go back over, look at our model. 1 gallon, 4, 8, 12, 16 cups. One cup is how many fluid ounces? So we'll go back. 1 cup, 8 fluid ounces. So next off, this is where we do another step. 1 gallon equals how many cups? 16 cups times the 8 fluid ounces that are in each cup. So as we did 16 times 8 on the other page is 128 fluid ounces. Then, if we know how much is in 1 gallon, we need to figure out how much is in 3 gallons. So over here in the think area, 1 gallon equals 128 fluid ounces. 2 gallons times 128. $256 fluid ounces, and 3 gallons times 128. $384 fluid ounces. So then we'll replace that into the table. So 2 gallons, 256 fluid ounces, 3 gallons, 384 fluid ounces. So step 3 is where we start to compare now. So 350 fluid ounces stays 350 fluid ounces. Now we write the measure of 3 gallons in ounces. 3 gallons, 384. We write the comparison symbol. Well, 350 is less than 380. So if she needs 384 ounces, she has 350 ounces. That's what we need to think of. So Serena has enough mix to make 350 fluid ounces. She needs to make 3 gallons of lemonade. 350 fluid ounces is less than 3 gallons. So Serena does not have enough mix to make 3 gallons of lemonade. She would have to go get more. Continuing on to page 459, share and show. So now we have this handy dandy box that does all the comparisons. 1 cup, 8 fluid ounces. 1 pint, 2 cups. 1 quart, 2 pints. 1 quart, 4 cups. 1 gallon, 4 quarts. 1 gallon, 8 pints. And 1 gallon, 16 cups. So number 1, compare the size of a quart to the size of a pint. We're going to use a model to help. So looking at the quart, we have 1, and pints, 1 pint, 1 pint. So 1 quart is how many times as much as how many pints? fill in the blanks. One quart is 2 times as much as 1 pint. Moving on, we're going to complete 2, 3, and 4. So 2 pints equals how many cups? So how I like to think about it is I look at that chart and I like to say, all right, pints and cups, how do they relate? 1 pint equals 2 cups. So if you know 1 pint equals 2 cups, how many do 2 pints equal? 2 times 2, fill in the blank. So 2 pints is 4 cups. Now we're comparing gallons and quarts. So 1 gallon is 4 quarts. So if 1 gallon equals 4 quarts, how many does 3 gallons equal? 3 times 4 equals how many quarts? 12 quarts. Now we're comparing quarts to cups. Quarts to cups. So 1 quart is 4 cups. So how much is 6 quarts? 6 times 4, fill in the blank. 6 times 4, 24 cups. All right, on your own, we're gonna do the whole rest of this page. And what I'm going to do is give you some time to work it, and then I'm going to work through it as well, because when I recorded the other day, I didn't give you any feedback on it. So this way I figure if I give you a little time to do it and then give you the answer, that way you'll have your feedback. Okay? So on your own, number 1, this is just like what we were just working on. 4 gallons equals how many pints? So 1 gallon equals 8 pints. So 4 gallons would equal 32 pints. Number 6. 5 cups equals how many fluid ounces? One cup equals 8 fluid ounces. So 5 cups is 40 fluid ounces. Now moving on to the algebra, compare using less than, greater than, or equal to. So now they're giving us 2 different measurements that we're supposed to compare. So they're asking us about number 7, 2 gallons and 32 cups. So when I'm doing the comparison problems, I like to compare cups to cups instead of gallons to cups, just like we did in the story problems. So I want to see how many cups are in a gallon. Well, 1 gallon equals 16 cups. So 2 gallons is 32 cups. So look at that. Equal. Go ahead and work on number 8. 4 pints and 6 cups. So again, now we're comparing pints and cups. So comparing cups to cups would be a whole lot easier. So 1 pint equals 2 cups. So 4 pints would be 8 cups. So now you can see that 8 cups is more than 6 cups. So 4 pints is greater than 6 cups. Moving on to number 9, 5 quarts and 11 pints. So again, I would prefer to compare pints and pints. So 1 quart equals 2 pints. So 5 quarts would be 10 pints. You could see that 10 pints is less than 11 pints. Moving down to the problem solving. Hot problem. A soccer team has 25 players. The team's thermos holds 4 gallons of water. If the thermos is full, is there enough water for each player to have 2 cups? So, when we're doing this, we need to explain, and it's helpful to make a table to help. So let's go ahead and fill in the table first. And then figure out how many cups they would need for the players. And if it holds 4 gallons, are there enough cups? So I'll give you a little bit of time to work on that. All right, so if you remember on page 458, we started, that was a gallon and a cup. So, a gallon and an ounce. We can't use that. We're going to use our chart above. So gallons and cups is what we're comparing. So 1 gallon is 16 cups. 2 gallons would be 2 times 16, 32. 3 gallons would be 3 times 16, 48. And 4 gallons would be 4 times 16, 64. So we know if we have 4 gallons, we have 64 cups. Soccer team has 25 players. The thermos is full. Is there enough water for each player to have 2 cups? So 25 times 2 equals 50 cups. That's how many they would need. 4 gallons equals 64 cups. This is what they have. This is what they need. So is there enough water for each player to have 2 cups? Yes. And last is a multiple choice. Number 11, a pitcher contains 5 quarts of water. How many cups of water does the pitcher contain? So you're comparing quarts to cups. So 1 quart equals 4 cups. So 5 quarts would equal 20 cups. Letter C, 20 cups. So next up will be homework. And we are going to do the odd problems this time. I'll take a look at that. So lesson 12.4 is homework page 227, odds. And I would definitely use your visual to help with this, Gallon Man, or what was in your textbook. So odds on page 227. The odd at the top of the page, and then I would like you to do all of the spiral review. And submit that either on a Wednesday or Friday on Seesaw or email. And you can leave it in your workbook, and when we get back to school, I could take a look at it as well. Have a great lesson.